Disaster can strike anywhere, and it can be external, it can be internal. But the reality is, how you act and behave when that disaster occurs is absolutely critical. Okay? I'm going back a few years here, but my partners and I own a company in Ukraine. Well, you can probably see where this is coming. We have 800 employees. The company's called Geeks for Less, and it does IT development. Well, we got the news that Putin had attacked the country of Ukraine, and our office facility is located in the southeastern part of Ukraine. They took over the city directly south of ours, and they marched on the city of Mykolaiv uh, 3 or 4 days after the war had started. They were about 3 miles from this particular building or facility, and I mean, this was tragic. We couldn't believe it. No one ever believed this was actually going to happen. And it's been a horrific war. And let me be very clear here. My son, who we adopted in Ukraine, his birth father was Russian. His mother was Ukrainian. They are a very friendly people. The people love each other. So I think this is not about the people. This is about about the bad politics and what's going on down there. But I'm not going to get into that. But what I will say is this hit, and here we are. I'm sitting in, actually, it was at my place up north in Canada with my kids, ironically. And this hit, and it was like, holy shit. What are we going to do? A war just broke out. And, first things you think, okay, our business is, I mean, this is a big company. We have 800 people, right? So this is actually a massive facility and whatnot. And the Russians are 3 miles from our office facility. And we were, first of all, getting through the shock of it all. I go into this sort of war room mode, and that's sort of maybe a bad analogy for this particular situation. But I go into sort of this war room mode. What can I do in this disaster to help out? And at the time, the CEO, my business partner, and I and another partner, my brother, we got together on the phone call and said, okay, our first priority is our people. Doesn't matter how much money we make. Our first priority is our people. And we did whatever we could to get as many people to safety as possible. It was obviously our wealth. I mean, this was a huge part of our wealth that was going down with this war. But our first priority was, how do we take care of our people? Our second priority was, how do we preserve the company so that our people still have jobs? And by the way, so on the taking care of our people, we moved as many people as we could to Lviv and to Poland and to other places. But most of the men couldn't leave the country. So most of them went to Kiev or Lviv, our Lviv office or Kiev office. And then how do we preserve the company? And so we worked on that, and we came up with a lot of strategies, coming up with virtual. Ironically, the pandemic, allowed us to think a little bit differently about the way business is done. Thankfully, a lot of our clients at Geeks for Less were very supportive of what we were doing and how we were taking care of our people, and they were not abandoning us. We thought our clients would be like, okay, yeah, our business is not done. Your people are under stress. We're going to pick up some new programmers somewhere else. But no, they supported us, and today the company is doing very well. But during that time, my partner had pretty much handled most of the situation after about 8 hours, 12 hours in. And I said to my kids, my God, what are we going to do? What can we do? We can sit here and do nothing, or we can do something in this disaster, this war, this Ukraine war that's been caused by Putin. We can do something to help the Ukrainians. And you know what we did, Michael? We went on Clubhouse and we started doing fundraisers, and we raised thousands, and you remember that, and we raised thousands and thousands of dollars. I started a new charity called Help for Ukraine Club, which you can go to helpforukraine.club and you can donate 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. By the way, that money is going to be used for reconstruction of Ukraine after the war. So just because the war is over, don't think that we don't need the money. So that particular charity, helpforukraine.club, we donate 100% of the funds from that charity. I'm not talking, there's no administration at all. 100% of the funds go directly to buy hospital equipment for the hospital in Mykolaiv. And we've raised now probably about $50,000 to $60,000 on this one particular fund, this one particular charity. It's a 501c, so if you're in the United States, you get a tax write-off. So as soon as you donate 50 bucks and go to that website, helpforukraine.club, you go to that website, you donate 50 bucks, that you'll get a tax receipt instantly. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference to these people. I think the entire world needs to think, a lot of these crises, these world crises, the disasters happen, and people forget. They forget that there's people struggling in Ukraine right now who need to rebuild a life. And so that's what the charity's for, Michael. And thank you for listening to me. I got a little emotional there, even teary. And, it's not easy, disaster. So how do you turn it into a victory? Well, I'm not saying we turn that into a victory, but curling up and going into your bed and doing nothing, that's not a victory. Going out and raising $60,000, I think that is a victory. We bought a lot of really good equipment for that hospital. We protected a lot of lives, a lot of jobs, and we could have just rolled over. But instead, Geeks for Less and Igor, the leader, he didn't roll over. He fought back, and he took care of his people. I'm done.